Diddy. Valet Park the Wraith. Here's 150. Fitted master linen master tennis. Net worth master image. Shorty was an AKA, best friend was a Delta. Bringing up her student loans, I told her that I felt her. Flyest women on the yard, now they work for Delta. New Chanel slides, slip them off like Cinderella. That's brunch on Sundays. Mad blunts, real runts, girls trying to act up. Gotta keep it classy, this ain't time to act tough. Eye to eye when we toast, we don't need no bad luck. That's brunch on Sundays. Cheers. Bring the hookah to the table, she gon' smoke it till her lungs ache. That's brunch on Sundays. Posting pictures on the gram, hashtagging Sunday Fun Day. It's my favorite day of the week. It's my favorite day. It's my favorite day of the week. To make it Sunday to Sunday, that shit is deep.
Keep it play at all times. Be patient and soft vibes. We fucking with the latest and greatest of all time. They know if I'm winning, we all shine. Sure, my people gotta play at the table before mine.
That's brunch on Sundays, this one's different. It's the good guy mixed with American pimp shit. I got Birkin money, but the telf I carry different. That's a black business, I handle my black business. Stay out of black woman business less you vested in it. Told her check her Zelle account, there's a blessing in it. That's brunch on Sundays, she belong on a runway. White Celine visor to block the sun rays. Oysters work as an aphrodisiac. Soulful Sundays, run Anita back. Gave her sweet love, she said she needed that. Still a player, baby, I know you seen the Mac. That's brunch on Sundays. Mad blunts, real runts, girls trying to act up. Gotta keep it classy, this ain't time to act tough. Eye to eye when we toast, we don't need no bad luck. Bless up. That's brunch on Sundays. Cheers. Bring the hookah to the table, she gon' smoke it till her lungs ache. That's brunch on Sundays. Posting pictures on the gram, hashtagging Sunday Fun Day. It's my favorite day of the week. Break bread. It's my favorite day. It's my favorite day of the week. To make it Sunday to Sunday, that shit is deep.
That's brunch on Sunday.
Break bread with the people. Count me in. Yeah. Yeah. Turn it up, let the radio blast. This a movie, can't catch it on HBO Max. Couldn't play me even back when we was playing tag. White snow covered the roof of the Navy Jag. That's crucial. Loose screws in my mind cause I didn't have the tools to unlock my power, then influence you. To lock me down, it'll take two of you. Must be delusional, dog. I'm living beautiful.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Count me in.
What's up, guys?
Most non-sucker shit you could ever experience. Count me in. Sound of a 4-5 bustin', that's how I'm killing shit. Count me in. Back and let them expose who they really is. Count me in. We living that life. No two lives are alike. We living that life. No two lives are alike. Ain't worried about none of them, they bleed how I bleed.
I haven't had the opportunity to do CS for quite some time, so the last time we casted was the beginning of the year-ish. Beyond the Summit, I believe. Yeah, since then we haven't had coinciding opportunities. You know, I moved to America 3 years ago now, I think, something like that. And he still lives in London, so I think that also presented some challenges in terms of like work, especially now with COVID and everything. It's become even more complicated in some respects, especially for events. So far, good. It's hard with a fast sense.
Hey, yo, hit. I like this IE weather.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely less verticality, but I think just for me, overall mouse control is good to keep the technique consistent. It doesn't really matter too much for me personally, for the verticality, and it's like good general kind of micro correction training. So that's why I like it. And also, like, even if you have, I know people who have like extremely slow sensitivities that don't have issues at all, are getting extremely high scores and like fast speeds and stuff like this. So it really is whatever you can sort of make useful for you, I guess. That was one of my best scores, I think, on this one. That was sick. Yeah, I really miss going to majors and stuff. Really miss miss arena fan events in general. Fan events? You know what I mean? Events with fans.
Keep your composure on city blocks and cell blocks. Keep your composure. Hold it down. Hold it tight. Hold it close. Hold space for yourself. It's the way of the ancestors, our elders, our artists, our OGs, our dreamers, our builders. With each breath, internalize their successes, their struggles, their sense of self, their sense of overcoming, and take that power forward with you in life. Remind yourself of the
This is particularly good. This, I think for me, this is by far the most useful task. Oh my god. Attack FPS. I'll explain why in a second. Oh my god. Now I'm like so slow. So this like attack FPS requires a lot of precision, and expecting like complete precision at all times is kind of unreasonable. You can do that, and some people are really talented that they have an extremely high degree of first bullet accuracy, like Scream, for example. But generally speaking, this, by the way, this is something that took me a while to get onto, because as an arena FPS player, you don't quite you can aim with your movement as well. There's like a lot of reasons why this type of aiming is not as prevalent, I would say, and you don't really train it as you should. have it trained for a game like CS:GO or Valorant. And so it's the idea of you make a quick flick and then you have to then recognize how far am I away from the target. Then you have to do a very quick micro correction. So you want to do it in 2 movements, and this is very good because of a few reasons. One, because when you're doing these micro corrections, often in an attack FPS, when you're on an angle, having great command over some of these smaller angles, you get practice kind of moving your mouse really quickly, and then doing the smaller movements very precisely as well. So it's kind of a nice mixture of those 2 things. And often you're going to be coming off of a big flick as well, so you get to practice kind of that adjustment. But also you may not always be on target, so this is curious. It helps you to practice the technique of the micro corrections, that if you are not on target on the first swing, then you can have a very accurate follow-up. And in Quake, like the way that dodging works and like, let's say a bolt action weapon like the railgun works, is you're looking for that first shot accuracy, and you're looking to like wait and bait dodging patterns, and then you want to hit them instantly, generally speaking. So that's because the gun is a bolt action weapon, so you don't get the chance to shoot a bullet and then quickly correct and shoot another one. Gotta wait for the reload. So yeah, it's a pretty useful task for the purposes of attack FPS, I would say. And the world record holder, Bardos, recommends that you do this in a way where you're training it as though you're training a musical instrument, and assuming that you have to get 100% accuracy in the task and not have any misses. So you should try to have the fastest flick possible, and only be slow on the micro correction, because the micro correction obviously is like what actually allows you to hit the target as well. And you have to also practice like recognizing if you're on target or not after the flick. So this is kind of nice training for that. It's like speeding up that process. Yeah, I definitely agree, Gil. No! These misses. I don't even know you guys can see the misses on your quality, but it's on for such a good pace there. Okay, I'm gonna do one more then. Quick switch track and then a good shot, and I'll be off to ranked. I'm getting worse. Okay, let's get a switch track in there. No. Oh my god, this thing's so many. Coming off so quickly. I still got like weirdly a decentish score, but alright. Let's do one of these. My hands are too sweaty. Sweaty hands plus fingertip aiming is rough. I had to restart this. Oh my god. All right. That'll have to do. Yes, Sentinel's Gambit will be pretty lit. I like it. Got a lot of juicy games coming up. It's gonna be interesting to see how Sentinels do against G2. It's been interesting hearing of the audio issues on LAN. Never want to hear that. It kind of sucks as well because, you know, it's like, you know, we've done this in Counter-Strike. You know, we know how this works, right? You have the helicopter headphones with the white noise if you're choosing to do it that way. And then what you do is you you tweet about the stream that you've put live. That's one thing you do. But then what you do is you put the in-ears in, so you actually have the direct game sound going straight into your ear holes, right? And that's sufficient. And then CS, you know, it works really well. Like, it's in a good place. And players are happy, very happy with that. And CS players are definitely extremely critical at this point, as they've been doing this for a long time. And the standards have improved over time, and people have really figured it out. So I'm surprised that those issues exist. It's unfortunate, the competitive integrity and all that. But I'm sure if it's really bad, the players would complain and it would get fixed. So hopefully it's gets addressed. It's not too hard to have the in-ears as well, alright? It's pretty easy to set it up. Man, the new Nas album's awesome, actually.
was never set up by stretch. Let it rest. I stepped to him at Bryant Park so we could speak direct. He didn't disrespect. We plan to reconnect. I flew to Vegas to shoot the Street Dreams video and link with Tupac. Try to squash the East Coast, West Coast beef. We didn't talk, but he was still alive in the hospital. And it rained that day in Vegas. Rest in power.
This is Mike and Nas, and we both got one thing in common. We both represent Queens to the fullest. Alright? This brother was good enough to stop his show, and I want everybody in here, everybody stand up on their feet first and foremost, please. At 7:03 p.m. New York time, 4:03 p.m. Las Vegas time, Tupac Shakur passed away, y'all. Give me a moment of silence.
What's up, Roxy? How's it going?
OG talk, Project Halls, 40 side where niggas seen it all. I can send niggas a slide. I'd rather show them the ropes. Integrity matters the most. I get a hood hope. Damn, I get a hood classics.
Match
Something to open your
found.
mind instead of going out crashing. How was you real when you hate the real? My nigga, I'm simply asking. Can't just talk about the plan, you gotta put it in. Ain't no pity party for yourself. You gotta get up, rise for your wealth. Can't spend all that time in your feelings trying to sympathize with yourself.
What's up?
Don't nobody owe you.
Yo.
Ain't nobody holding you back. You stuck in illusions, attached to something that ain't even that. South Beach, Nassau, Amalfi, Maldives, same beach. Unless you are after something most men just can't see. Shorty off the block, shorty off the runway, same
Match
fruit. We all
found.
got the access to open doors like we share the same key. OG talk.
It's crazy he's also been going for so long and hasn't been shot or something. Like some of his peers, like Tupac, Biggie, and so on.
OG talk. OG talk. OG talk. Project Halls. 40 side where niggas seen it all. I can send niggas a slide. I'd rather show them the ropes. Integrity matters the most. I get a hood hope.
Match
Damn,
found.
niggas really gotta jump it. They finally gave Nas a Grammy just from me to go. That wasn't the goal. First clip was a warning shot, nigga. We spinning back up the road. Through the barrows, pull up a rose, empty this bitch and reload. You been in it this long, it's gonna look like it's magic. Only Allen that my niggas knew was right, cause it's statin. You get your first V12, tap the pedal and stab it. Get your first 10 milli, watch that shit like a habit. OG talk, shout out 41st.
You wanna play Smokes?
Jackson Heights.
I don't mind. Do you have a preference?
If you don't want to play Smokes, I can play, but I just want to play Race.
Yeah, no worries. I got it. Favorite ice cream is probably Halo Top. But if you're talking flavors in general, probably a vanilla strawberry kind of guy. And just, for anyone who gets confused, I'm dual streaming to both Twitch and YouTube, so if I'm responding to something that you cannot see kind of where the question came from, is probably the other channel. It's a pretty easy way to have the VOD just be on my YouTube channel automatically without me fiddling around. No, these are just the HD 598s.
Oh, Jay, I remember being so young.
MF Doom, I know.
Feeling old like
We're listening to God shit, what's the album called? Mad
Yo, what do
Villainy.
you guys want to do?
What do you want to do?
Bro, I'm always down for a little ramps to vents to be real quick.
Bro, you sound like you like the pussy.
Huh? Yeah? You think so?
Ah. So wait, are we actually doing this ramps to be? Then I'll go mid.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but if you stay mid, that's just gonna keep them from rotating.
I won't make any presents. They rotated. They literally all rotated towards. Wait, he's there.
Wait for race. Wait for race.
Oh my god.
Let's go, let's go.
Oh, I actually hit Jeff for 104.
Yo, Raptor.
Reloading.
I've got some music off. Oops. So Kelvin.
Okay. Reloading.
Yeah, I don't like how it's more forgiving, the mechanics of it though, Blaze. I feel like there's a larger buffer when your player velocity is slowing down or speeding up from static or from dynamic. That's
One enemy remaining.
is more forgiving than CS:GO, where would become inaccurate completely in CS:GO. You know, you're still accurate here.
I missed him?
And
52, he said 52.
for me, I think having a higher mechanical skill ceiling is ultimately better for the game.
Just give me a moment.
Because, you know, firstly, people just get good enough, but at the same time, like, you need a level that,
Got this.
like, for example, there's a reason why in CSGO, you know, a player like Simple can exist and be
Because many
set
rounds
so
of
far
T-side,
apart
got
of
this.
everybody else with his talent. Like, his talent means enough at that level. And if you know, in terms of how he reads the game and its mechanics and stuff. And so I like that players like that get more rewarded. I think is
We're gonna go
important.
there.
I might go like straight on the site, but like who knows? I might get shit on real quick again. So
Who knows?
That's in like skill to be kind of capped
Smoke,
in any
smoke having
sense.
screen.
Cutting their
Silence.
I'm gonna come, I'll heal you.
Oh shit, there's 1A ramp.
Spike
I did not even
down
realize I had
A.
a spike.
One enemy remaining.
It's gonna take me a while to get good at like playing the game and talking at the same time. You guys about things that are not related.
You say something? Sorry. Ear's still ringing.
I think Kelvin is just. I think there's no super easy way to deal with it. I think there is, you know, because you're starting from a point where you're uncomfortable basically, but there are ways you can manage it that can help you solve it.
Let's go pigeon.
hey, buddy.
Do you want to smoke ropes?
Cover going out.
They insta wall mid already.
One is ramp, I think. They have like a one-way A main.
I'll go into that when I die or when. I have an opportunity.
Down to go. You guys want to go? Wait for the smoke.
There is.
For you.
Oh, I pulled him right
Close
at
up, close up.
Still in sight. Lock in sight. Reloading.
Oh, jet mid.
Spike planted.
Can you heal me when you get it again?
Traveling.
Yo, the wall CT is
Not deep
like
enough.
fucked up. They can walk out that shit.
Okay.
I have heal in 15 jet.
Alright.
I'm not going for it.
No way they're actually saving.
Yeah, so there's a few ways you can deal with it. Firstly, you want to sort of
Oh, yo,
talk,
man, to your left. Man, to your left.
talk back to it, not just to
Oh, he
understand
actually,
why. Sorry, not just to. You want to talk back to it and ask the questions and be like, okay, like why am I actually anxious? Because there might be some answers there that might help you sort of find the solutions as to what you can do to remedy it. You know, for example, is it that it's just there's like a fear of losing, or
Let me actually mid here.
you know that's you know a common one for people, a fear that you'll have like a bad experience. You might be able to draw some inference, some
Smoke ropes.
insight from
Cover going out.
some insight for why that is the case. But I think what's helpful is to just set yourself
One rope.
a quota.
Raise the ropes.
No way. 1A ramp. Just set yourself a quota and just say, okay, I'm going to play 5 games, or that's quite a lot actually in Valorant, but let's say I'm going to play 2 games, right? And just have a process behind how you're improving. So, so you're taking some of these other things, like the emotions, out of it, and just say that, you know, you just have to do this. You want to improve. So, you know, maybe on a Monday you're doing a bit of like studying some demos or like VODs or whatever. You do your mechanics training, your warm-up training. Maybe you're like studying like how to play like one agent on one part of the map on defense or something, and there are things you're trying to integrate. Maybe that's like part of your process that you're going through to improve like bit by bit every day that you play. And then you just have your quota of 2 games you have to play after that. So just like a list of things that you have to do in terms of managing your improvement and putting the focus in the right areas. And then you can decide after you've done that, was that, like, how did that actually feel? Because sometimes it will be shit, but sometimes it won't be. And every time it's not, it gets easier, and it kind of reinforces that this process is not scary, and that you have the tools to also deal with the worst experiences.
Sky plays B.
No, he's started stepping there.
No, we have.
Because one of the things that creates the anxiety for people too is that, like, because when you lose, right, or when you have a bad experience, it's usually because of like one of 2 things or a mixture of them, which is, you know, variance and skill, right? So you can have skill and have a good game, you know, if you're playing from positions of comfort, like you know how to play those spots, like you're comfortable, you know, your warm-up went well. But sometimes you'll be in games where you're put into spots where you don't know how to make certain decisions, or the weakness in your mechanics will start to show through, and of course you're going to have a bad spot. So really the answer is always just getting better at the game. So now that we've established that, the other reason, well, now that we've established that, you can always look at a result and think, okay, what can I improve at the game? So that's part of your process. And then you can also acknowledge the variance that exists. And the variance is like, well, sometimes you're going to lose because you're going to have a bunch of like teammates that aren't good, or you're going to have a close game maybe, and it was just like lost on like these marginal clutches, or there's lots of elements of timing, or, you know, there's a lot of random things that can happen, compositions that, you know, you can't control for your team. Map, you know, don't necessarily know what map you're walking into. There's a lot of inherent variance that exists. So I think once you sort of like in your mind have a good way to deal with the things that you can control, and then have a process for that. I think you'll be in a good place. I'm like not communicating at all because I'm talking to you guys. So that's why, like, I suggested that like checklist, because it really helps, I think, to like you'll feel bad. It's like not going to the gym, right? It's like, you know that you should go to the gym. You know that you should do it, because you know that if you don't, you're slowing your progress down. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, you don't want to go to the gym because you're tired, or it's too much effort, or you're like really not feeling it, or you're like a bad night of sleep, or maybe even you're like you're hungover, or like, you know, whatever the many excuses are that can exist for you not going to the gym. But you feel bad about not doing it because you committed to improving in it, and you're investing in it, and you feel bad because you're betraying that idea, and you're doing so because you're kind of acknowledging that you don't feel like you have the fortitude in the current moment to complete that commitment. So it's the same thing with this. Like, you'll feel bad if you don't complete the process that you set for yourself.
That could be awesome.
I've got your trail.
Why I have this work all the time.
Reloading.
I'm gonna go
Watch
back
out.
to the zone.
One top A ramp.
Cover going out.
Oh man, I was looking at the Twitch chat.
Spike down A.
That's not good.
fine. Just chill.
I gotta get bomb.
Just wait.
Yeah, Diabolical didn't really succeed. I think Arena FPS has... I think it's very debatable. In the last like decade and a half, Arena FPS games have struggled to survive, to succeed. And one of the biggest issues, I think, ultimately is just that, you know, there was not the ability to retain players or capture large numbers of players, because this is obviously how most games do it. They'll try to capture like the largest number of players possible, and then make the game profitable just by itself, and have a competitive element to it. But just having like a huge focus on the competitive element and not giving a good trade to the player that's the issue, because it's one of the issues in terms of retaining users, I think. Because, for example, the game is very punishing, right? These are very punishing games. There's very limited, like you're talking about variance. Like, variance does help to a certain extent, but there's very few ways to reward players for the amount that you're punishing them for being bad at the game that they're playing. And there's few good ways that have been employed to mitigate that. Because, for example, you can have a very difficult game, but if both people are bad, it's fine, because it's then about like how fun is the game to actually play. And you know, you can achieve that with matchmaking systems. You can achieve that with a very large number of players, so that there's like a skill distribution that allows there to always be enough of every skill on to play, hopefully. But also, like, you do have to spend time making it like an enjoyable world that people are taking part in.
Yo.
So the spike? No.
Okay, that works out.
Oh dear. One more heaven.
I mean, raise heaven. One screens.
So I think, yeah, I think on average, like, players get punished quite a lot in Arena FPS titles, and there's not nearly as many kind of rewards and ways to kind of soften that. And I don't think it has to come at the sacrifice of a skill ceiling to have a game that's just like inherently very fun to play and be a part of. But yeah, it's definitely, I think, a huge debate. There's, you know, I feel like Fortnite is very similar to an arcade FPS game. Obviously, it's a battle royale game, but there's a lot of verticality. You know, you have pretty much all the different types of aiming as you would have in a classic arcade FPS. The fights are really chaotic. You got to be really fast. There's like a high time to kill, especially if both players have like lots of health and armor. So, you know, it is more reminiscent, I would say, of an arcade FPS than it is of a TAC FPS or something like that. And that game did very well, obviously. So it's done a lot for gaming culture, probably in general, I think, in the long term.
I will rip the light from them. Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
He almost still ran.
One enemy remaining.
Yo. He's going towards you, Omen.
Still in sight. No charges.
Spawn.
Thinking what happened.
It is done.
What will it be this time? Have any patterns?
Yeah, definitely think that. I think it's really helpful, Kelvin, because if you get a process too, again, it's kind of similar. I don't know if you've, like, I haven't done this that often with the gym, but I've done it in times when it's going to be helpful for me, where I like actually put I have like a notepad where I have every day, and I log every single workout, and it's all the workouts are kind of like all the reps, like how many I was able to accomplish, the quality of the, just like all of the detail. Like you can do something that's not as neurotic as that, but you can do something that's also some kind of comparable system that helps keep you honest to the numbers as opposed to like the emotions of it. Like I will play for, you know, a specific time period or a specific amount of games regardless of whether I want to keep going or not.
Sky's a gun.
Enemy remaining.
And that's in theory, I think, is the best way to do it, because emotionally we can get carried away. Like for example, you know, if you play too much, even if you're like feeling good, that can be a bad thing, right? But generally speaking, most of us, if we have good performances or if we're playing well, we're going to probably want to keep playing. We may not always keep doing it, but sometimes we will. And we might be like far too tired, or like the variance was just working in our favor. Maybe we're actually getting in poorer quality reps. Like you don't have as much control over your training as you otherwise do when you're just kind of getting more clean results from just making it specific. Again, like this is just stuff you can mess around with. I don't think there's only one best way to do things. In the cloudburst at A Heaven.
Are we on that Rob C B or what?
Oh,
Thank you, SI Chance. Yes, I was thinking of redoing those. Some of those ones, I'm just making them more sort of like up to date, better quality. Well, I think it depends, Farquaad. Like, I think the idea would be that you have a specific training regimen, and you can definitely, like, you have to be honest with yourself. Like, obviously, if you're having a day where it feels like a total write-off, then similar to the gym, it's actually better not to train on that day. But you just have to kind of, I think, use your own sort of, you got to be honest with yourself about it. But generally speaking, I think it can be good to experiment with stuff like this. Like I said, like for me, I've like learned a lot experimenting with various things, and sometimes found that this was really useful. I probably won't do it again, but these are some of the things I've learned from doing this, and this is what I'll take moving forward that I liked from experimenting with this. I remember this method helped me in particular when I was training in StarCraft 2, because I wanted to get at least to like top of Masters, which I managed to do in the acts that I was playing. And I found this process was like, it was a really good way for me to manage studying, learning build orders, training mechanics, ladder anxiety, which was quite stark in that game. It was very difficult. That was like that's the time when it's been the most difficult for me. Oh, I thought for sure I heard her on the left. It's 2 and A.
Oh, okay. You just better like that. Gotcha.
Yeah, the good player performing well on a bad day thing is, again, I'll have a podcast releasing soon. I have to keep like delaying things with it, but we have this discussion around this idea, you know, improving the bottom end of your range. If your performance is a range, which it is, you know, you're never going to perform exactly the same every single day. There's going to be fluctuation. So with that assumption, you have one end of the range which is really good, and one end of the range which is your worst performance possible. And your worst performance possible is possible based on what you've learned about playing the game. You know, even someone that's put in 10,000 hours, a bad day for them is not going to look like a bad day for someone that's put in 1,000 hours. Those will be two very different things. Like, it's not that you can kind of fall all the way past this spectrum into like some place where you don't even know how to use a mouse anymore. That's definitely not how it works. So I'm just saying that in the sense that there is this range of performance that you have, and you can work on the things that make for the worst performances that you have, so that you can tighten up your range, as it were.
Stuff B man. I don't know if you can shoot this, but if you could shoot that shit.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
Got him.
That's just sad.
My city needs me. I can't.
So, but that I would say is different than sort of like not feel like a bad day, like you're sick or ill or something like that. I think that's different, because you can be in a spot where you're feeling pretty good and you're not sick or ill, or maybe you are a little bit tired, but then you may make the decision, should I play or should I not play? So I think was more sort of what I was referring to. You can also be starting a really good day and
Mid.
One's A.
and it can go really bad.
Spike down mid. One enemy remaining.
And that's also part of it too, is that like you have some players that are very streaky, or they'll have like a really wide range, like their top end of their range, they're amazing, they can beat really good players, but when you see them at their bottom end of the range, then they struggle to contribute at all against worse opponents. There are lots of players that are like that, and again, that's symptomatic of them just not having obviously a well-rounded game, right? So those are all things you can train. So again, like understanding like what your C range is, like what are the mistakes that you make when you're at your worst, fixing those mistakes makes your worst better and moves you forward.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Kill him.
That was 13-2. Bloody hell.
It's only us. It's only us. She want me very exclusive. Relationships bound to fail when you barely into it. Stupid of me continuously, I leave it in ruins. You perfect.
Yeah, diminishing returns is a really important thing. That's actually part of the reason to why keeping a close eye on the amount that you train is really important, and being disciplined. Because again, it's super easy to overtrain, as mentioned, and when you overtrain because if you think about how again, this is just my opinion after being sort of involved in all this kind of stuff for like 20 years or whatever, but I have no actual science to back this up. This is anecdotal experience, but from what I have experienced, like less time can be far better, because if you're in a consistent state, energy wise, sleep, nutrition, like exercise, all these kinds of things, and you're playing at similar times, you have like these routines, you start to get such a good sense of when things are different in your performance, because everything else is the same. So you can start to feel those differences. You can start to feel more sensitivity towards your levels of focus and energy. And when you understand those things, you can start to like address them. Like, oh, I feel like my focus is less right now, I know how to deal with that. Or I feel like, I'm tired right now, I know how to deal with that. So you get a greater sensitivity for that, which I think is super valuable. And then equally, it also gives you kind of cleaner data in terms of what you're exposing yourself to. Now, Valorant's a really interesting situation, because I think this is actually really important in Valorant to get lots of reps, more so than some other games, because there's so many variables with all of the abilities. And so giving your subconscious minds access to all this data of these patterns that are going to be, there's going to be a greater amount of possible patterns. Like grinding the game, I think actually is very valuable, especially right now. The game's still new, really. It's not that old. So you have to continually be exposing yourself to a lot of these things. I think there is a point though that you have to be very careful, because you don't want to overtrain when doing that. So that's the balance you have to figure out, because if you do that, you're going to start having less fun in the game. you're going to start being less energized when you play. It has like a knock-on effect. And also, if those things happen, then what you start doing is you start making more mistakes, and then you start habituating more mistakes. And then also another issue being, let's say, tired or unmotivated or caring less. Also, a symptom of that is you're not going to be as strict with your decision making or your play in general. So you might start backsliding. There's this idea that the more you play, the more you'll improve, but that's not true. The more you play just means the more you play. It's that improving. It gets to a point where you don't just passively improve. Like it's an RPG, a straightforward, simplistic RPG game where you just select that passive skill and you're just spending time playing the game and you're improving. It's not linear like that, I don't think. What am I doing? What do we have here? I could play pretty much anything with this, I guess. Could go triple duelist. Yeah, I guess fucking do it. So what happens to a lot of players is a lot of players will get to a certain point and they can't get beyond that point, even if they play more. Because even if they gain a few inches, the quality of practice is so bad, they'll maybe slide down again a few inches elsewhere. So they're kind of in this like equilibrium state. Or worse yet, they'll not have a good foundation for actually understanding how to improve, and they'll focus on the wrong things and develop bad habits and have less fun with the game. And when people get really stuck, it tends to be obviously quite negative emotionally to not feel like you're improving, to feel like you're repeating the same mistakes. That starts to get pretty bad. So either people will probably stop playing or they just won't enjoy the game as much. So that sucks too. So, same with pro players, right? If we look at it from their end of the spectrum, there's diminishing returns there as well, because again, you have to understand the game really well, especially at that level, to know where your leaks are and where the edges are to gain over your opponents. And one of the most fascinating and best things about the pro level is that you start to have to cut corners and make assumptions, but pro players can do that with such an awesome ability because they have such an intrinsically strong, intuitive understanding of the game that they're able to cut corners and make reads that normal players wouldn't be able to do to a degree of success that they can do. And then everyone's trying to cut those corners. So I think that's just a really fun element about pro players in general.
Enemy spotted A.
Let's go.
Reloading.
My smokes are down there. Too late.
Why are we still pushing? I'm saying rotate, you guys are still they're all there.
Just two there.
So marked as aim. Oh god, how do I fix that? How do I find my Twitch dashboards?
There's no way you guys think pushing a KJ in the sky honestly is a good idea.
Right now I'm doing a lot of 6-shot, especially to like learn this new sensitivity. That's new old sensitivity. It's really fast.
Well, I mean, if we went like 10 seconds earlier where my smokes were up, it would have been fine, but we just sat in sort AFK fighting our turret.
One garage close. Nice shot.
Last player standing.
145.
All right, Ali TV, thanks for tuning in, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night.
They'll see before they die.
Yeah, I think that's one of the coolest things about this kind of thing is that this kind of game is really like, it's like the art of improvement. right? That's what a lot of it is. It's like, how good are you at that? Because if you lose, it's because you're not good enough. It's like, that's the reason. So to win, you have to become better. So how good are you at improving yourself?
My smoke is fucked up. The runway though. You have turret and shit. Don't worry about it.
I got one way.
It's 2 C-Link. I wish I had a rifle. That would have been nice. Thought I'd be able to like pen through that. Ooh. Oh yeah, you can both. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And my thing is that like I'm really hungry for stuff to compete in because I love getting into that place. So like exactly what we're talking about is like focusing on, okay, where can I improve? And how do I do that? And just drawing all the experience I have to kind of figure that out for myself. I just love that process. But I can only really bring that out when I'm actually competing in something. Otherwise it doesn't feel like it makes any sense. We're gonna push mid. Like with Diabolical, we were, that was happening very briefly, and then in 2017, Quake Champions happened very briefly. Absolutely. Mr. Farquaad.
Reloading.
I'm gonna have 2A, 1B, 1 garage. Let's see.
Let's just Killjoy all A. They bomb someone.
Yeah, I'm just gonna boom bot garage and then I'm gonna run the bomb back.
Okay. Alright, that's fine.
Bomb buddy out. I have the spike.
Hey, yo.
Get it close. Nothing.
Close right, Killjoy.
Spike down A.
Oh god.
Last player standing.
What a disaster.
Yo. Hello.
Did not think there was another player around short there, but they rotated so quickly. We need more pressure at the beginning, really.
I wonder you're not ranking up, bro.
What? I mean, what did we just do? Like, Killjoy literally said something in English, and you guys just ignored it. We were supposed to alt A.
Yeah, where was the ult?
Yeah, he was on short. Put it down.
So late.
Raze ran up before the ult, and you're already on site, bro.
I'm getting contested by a KJ turret, and KJ was
Bro,
deeper. So
why
would
are
I
you
just
even
like
up long?
immediately put the ult down?
Just wait. Raze just runs at them.
I also had to clear folks left and right because we don't have a solo because we want to do a lot of triple duelists. So, you know, takes more than 5 seconds to take care of control.
Shit. It's a 2 behind C window. C-Link. Yeah, I was pushing out short because the 2 teammates were running in on A long.
Last player standing. Spike down C.
It's all out of sync. So we had a 13-2. So far, next game is 0-6. It's looking good. No, surrendering is bad. It's bad for your health.
Just fight mid. I don't really care.
No, just go back to Sky, bro. I looked at your shit. You're not good, Jet.
What?
Just stick on Sky, bro. I promise.
You're Diamond.
Yeah, the sheriff feels good.
Diamond? I'm a higher RR than you'll ever
101
be
probably.
literally in your whole life. I promise. You can play this game
What's
for the
your
next 5
RR,
years.
bro?
This
I
isn't my
love how you guys say, oh, let's swing mid, and guess what? You guys are fucking jerking off. That's crazy.
Rasher, what's your RR, bro?
This isn't my main, and it's higher than you'll ever.
Okay, what
be.
is it then?
He's
480.
radiant. He's radiant. What are you? Nothing. You're nothing. You're nobody. Your name is Mo. You're
Literally
fucking
hiding.
gamer girl, and you have to queue with a
you're
guy because you're too
literally-
scared to solo queue. Like, don't even talk to
no,
me.
I actually solo queued. He was home. He
Like,
literally
you
got
think
home
you
an
would
hour
solo
ago.
queue
I
as a
bet, bro.
girl as right now, bro?
Yeah,
Shut
you,
up.
You're
you
0
could
and
check my
7.
you could check my career. You could check my career.
You
Bro, your
can't
name
play
is
Jet.
Fairy.
You should give up Jet. Go play
Go
Sky.
check my career. Go check my career.
Stick to Sky.
Last player standing.
Yeah, stick to Sky,
Did I
bro.
play
Look at
with
your
you last
matches.
game?
No, no one played against you last game, bro. You're lower mortal your whole
So
life.
you looked up my
Yeah, I did. I wanted to see why you picked Jet and you're garbage.
obsessed, bro.
Who's obsessed with
Alright,
you?
it's
I
alright.
don't even know you. After this game, I won't care about you.
You literally looked at my
Honest.
game. What the fuck?
Yeah, because you're 0 and 7.
Like, bro,
on
your biggest
literally
flex is
Jet.
400 RR.
That's not my biggest flex. I'm just saying you're dog. Like,
Bro,
you're
you
not
peaked
good.
170. I don't know why you're talking.
I don't
Like,
this
okay,
game
dude.
like that. You guys are nerds.
It begins.
Okay, yeah.
So
No, you have
it
9
Particular
begins.
gamer girl, bro. Oh my god.
Oh wait, no, that has nothing.
Girl, oh my god.
You, bro. I don't got. You have 980 games, bro, and I've been playing since beta. You have 200 games more than me.
I've been playing since beta too.
Yeah, and you've still been peaked 170. Stop.
Oh my god. Bro, like, you think I.
Okay, so stop talking if you
Do you
don't
think
care.
you're insulting me? Bro, you guys literally.
And I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to put it to your head that you're bad.
Bro, just go talk to your gamer girl on Discord, bro. Did you buy her nitro?
No, like.
Kind of did.
What even comebacks are that?
Oh shit.
Not older than 16.
Good trade.
Even comebacks are that?
You're literally too scared to solo queue. You call me 16
God, somebody
years old.
fucking shoot me.
Again, check my career after this.
You should run.
The hunt begins. Definitely staying.
Oh, what is your issue, dude?
Enemy spotted A.
Oh my god, Korean Jet. Oh my god, someone sign him. Holy fuck. He's so good.
Gamer girl.
Get your fucking dick out of your
Gamer
ass.
girl.
You're nobody.
Concealment.
Yeah.
You're a nobody, dude. Forever will be. You could be
Bruh,
like, yeah, guys,
nobody.
LT looking for a team, guys.
My goodness.
170 RR. Get me. Jet.
Might win the round though. Yeah, I think also like the cool thing, I used to do it in CS:GO where I would train just like I would do just Deagle only specifically just because like it's it was really good for just like that first shot accuracy and taking care on that every shot, just like really focusing on every single shot, and for that purpose it felt really good, really useful. And they're just like constantly talking. Might have to mute all of them.
I didn't flex it. You asked me what my RR was, you dumbass. Get some social skills before you even decide to talk to me. You asked me what it was and I told you. And then I'm flexing it? You're dog shit. Stop.
Oh my god.
Stop it, please.
You know, kid.
His name is Mo. In real life, you'll actually be looking at the ground when you look at me. Stop.
You have no friends, bro. That's why your girl is a fucking Discord girl.
I have no friends.
It's so obvious you have no friends.
Yeah, I have no
Then
friends.
look down at me in real
Oh,
life.
I would love if you guys push
Or,
C.
bro, I think he's hard because he's 400 RR. Oh my bad. You're different. Bro, you're different.
Last player standing.
What's up, Mike? Yeah, pretty much.
No worries.
You know how it is. Everyone turns on each other. They'll turn on each other.
Sexist.
Let's make him dance. Bomb buddy out.
Oh, right, walking down mid. I can get a second time to spawn me, so not like I'm just not anticipating Reyna to walk down mid like she has done every round, basically.
Placing alarm bot.
So my next
Yo, Mo, just
mission
have a
is
great
to
day, bro. On
just
your
smash
online
Reyna.
class tomorrow. Or on Monday.
Bro, like you're trying to say shit and it just makes no sense.
I mean, I know that's true.
Probably best to play as a team.
You're like, wait, how old are you?
What's the plan?
17.
It actually makes sense. I can hear the immaturity in your voice.
Okay.
This is so dumb.
These duos are something else.
Top tier banter.
What does it have to do with anything here? Like, I called you dog shit. Who the fuck cares about a duo? Who the fuck?
No
like,
wonder she goes right now.
I don't even care what she said. You're dog shit. I told you you're dog shit. Who cares what she said? You're bad. I said it.
Be some friends, please.
I don't
Like,
care if like I'm not attacking you, bro.
You go,
I
are
was
you
attacking.
IRL?
One mids.
Is that what you talk to people about? You're ready.
I was hoping I didn't want to fall off of the
IRL,
structure. I was
you
too
really
proud.
Stop.
Too proud of my
17, bro.
position up high,
Don't even
standing
talk to
large
people
and in
at school,
charge.
bro. You have online class.
Because you're ready.
I don't think.
No, I don't care about this game.
Don't think I can do it anymore.
I'm
Guys.
not, I don't give a fuck.
Last
Oh,
round
that's
in the half.
so nice.
Last round to use our creds and abilities.
I just feel the relief. Just immediately the levels of cortisol in my blood are simmering down. So peaceful and tranquil. Ah, it's lovely.
Let's flush them out.
Just killed Arena again. Oh, the sky is now there.
Spike
Cool.
down
Cool,
mid.
cool.
Got one. Concealment. Blocking vision.
It's one of those games as well where, like, I don't think anyone on my team's really trying to play together at all. And then on the defense, I bet everyone's just going to be cracked, and it's going to be like a really close game. That would have been really winnable if people paid attention on the attack.
Last player standing.
Idiot. I have the spike.
That death animation of Sky there really reminded me of the CS 1.6, like,
30 seconds left.
headshots.
One enemy remaining.
NC.
Switching
Okay, I
sides.
only have like 78 grenades left. Hopefully that's enough.
It really sucks when it gets to a point where you have to, like, mute your teammates, but sometimes it has to be done.
Let's make them dance. Placing sentry. Sky's out.
There. One enemy remaining. Spike down, C.
Enemy spotted. See. Reloading. Turret out. Spike is C.
Anyone have any splints? I may have jammed my fingers. Multiple fingers. Let's go.
Do 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 do. Oh, he actually hit me there. Amazing. What a planting B. Uh-oh.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Outrun me?
Nice.
Come amped. Let's go. I got things to do. Placing sentry.
Don't overthink it. That's my job.
Let's go.
Placing swarm grenade.
Haha.
Concealment.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
One window.
Obscuring vision.
Oh, I hit all of them. Holy shit. That was with my spam, I think, through the... I don't think I've ever done that much damage with it before. That's pretty cool.
Found them. Multiple enemies C.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, well played.
You can trust my bots. They only malfunctioned that
Need a
one
drop.
time. Can I get a drop? Can I get a drop?
Drop, please.
Turret out. Just cool down. We're good enough to win.
No, no drop. Alright.
Thanks. Alarm bot out. Reloading.
I can bought a sheriff. Lots of step sewers.
Bomb buddy out. Enemy spotted A.
Spike down A.
Satchel out.
One enemy remaining.
There.
Spawn. See, isn't this what I said? Like,
Release the tension.
it would be the case that people would start winning rounds. Like, no one's trying on the first half, and then on the second half, it's defense. So people are more comfortable just doing whatever random stuff they want to do. So it just goes way better. Matchmaking things. I'm gonna try walking down mid and sniping the guy in grass and just hope they don't peek this. Oh,
I've got
lost
your
the step, stay
trail.
short.
The hunt begins.
Here goes the
killed the Reyna at least.
Spike planted.
I should have satcheled again, I think, with the ults to try to get more there. But I thought it would go. I thought it would hit this over, like actually kill this over.
Placing alarm bot. Turn out. Pulling that plastic obscuring vision.
Last player standing.
NT. So Miss Abby, not bad, not bad. How you doing? Will they keep going A? Is the question. Well, I'm gonna have a judge if they come here. They will get judged. It's actually 25.9 centimeters. I still have not updated that, Kelvin. Lost the steps A again. No way. I got too greedy. Like the first, she saw me on the first run across the cover. So I'm like, well, I have to change position. But at the same time, like the range is not correct for this fight. So I just wrecked myself there.
You should run.
Ooh, interesting ult. That's not going to do too much. Unless they push too slow.
Spike planted.
The killjoy haven't needed to run and make noise as opposed to slowing down so his teammate could get distraction because he was going to die anyway. So his best, Killjoy's best play there is to recognize that I have to just give my teammate a chance by dying first here, by like taking contact. I'm on 800 DPI right now, and it's 063 on 800 DPI. Wish I would have money at some point, but Josh is coming back.
Let's flush them out.
Oh, sweet Miss Ambi. I vaguely remember that, but I don't remember what the content of the answers was. Lots of steps A short again.
Prepare for hellfire.
Oh, he's one out on A site. I thought for some reason we had a dude ready to go covering that angle. But I like misread the minimap. It was Jet in heaven. I thought Jet had pushed in front of me somehow onto the site. I am dumb. 1 second, guys. Be right back. Hello. Right. How's everything feeling for tomorrow?
Just another prac day, so
Nice.
good day to figure out what we're gonna do for the next match. See who wins tomorrow, I guess. At least we have the extra day to prep.
Yeah, Icebox was a bit close.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first half that we were making a lot of mistakes.
It's the first time the players run the setup as well, I guess, on stage, so...
Yeah. It seemed to me like the first half they, like, anti-strat us pretty hard with the way they're positioning themselves compared to what I had seen in the VODs, but... I kind of knew, like, every aggression that we would do. And
really appreciate that, Miss Ambi.
So...
Yeah, you'll be seeing me, I hope, at least. Who's the like least experienced player for LAN? Because obviously you got a few LANers.
I don't
FNS,
think...
yay. Has Marv's been to LAN?
I don't think Marv or Crashies has been to an international LAN. They've been to like LANs, but not an international one.
Oh, I'm scared. That was Quake 3 Arena, and it was a mod called Defrag. That's what that movie was. If you search Quake 3 Final Torture Defrag, then you'll get that movie on YouTube, I'm sure.
Match found.
It's called Final Torture. It is extremely hard. Shall I play Jet?
Go for it.
Why not? The Jet's so good.
Broken.
Yeah. The ult is still
Someone tweeted a thing
insane.
today. Yeah. Someone was tweeting say like the top 10 for I forget what category is all like Jet players right now basically, except for like a few like Nats and Crashies I think are like the one-offs, but the rest is just Jet. The ult is weird how like imagine like any other ult if you gotta kill it refreshed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now Jet and Sky are just very broken.
For Sky, just with the pop flashes, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's the most controllable flash. It blinds for one of the longest periods of time, and it gives info, which is all just mental. And the ult is only 6 points. There's just so much shit with it.
I remember at the beginning when she came out, people were like, she sucks.
Yeah, I think the improvements have definitely helped. I don't think she would be like as played if you convert it back like tomorrow to the old stuff. Like the dog changes they made definitely helped. The flash changes they made definitely helped.
Turret out. Placing sentry.
Nothing B.
wall here.
I'm gonna lean.
Oh, push out, push out.
It's open. I'm playing.
Spike planted.
Viper's one, Viper's one.
Lane.
Stay down.
One enemy remaining.
Elbow. Nice.
Let's go. Mostly wrists. I have a high sensitivity. 25.9 centimeters for a 360.
Pretty well myself. Make sure to cover the angles I can't.
Turret out.
Water.
Time to hunt.
Deep sewers.
Left side, left side.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Spike spotted A.
Be like screens, I guess.
Probably wait out my wall at B and walk through.
Yes.
Flawless.
Nice one.
I can feel the panic rising. Drive it into them.
As one.
Fuck.
It's like 3 away next to
Oh
I knew
shit!
it.
Got me right through the wall. One image.
2 mid, 1 in mail close.
What part is on one?
KO dinked.
Spike planted.
Do you like the new Z skins?
Not super huge. I like the classic because it looks like the PT50 whiteout.
Oh yeah,
CS.
that is true.
Pretty expensive though.
I knew it felt familiar.
Shadows traveling.
And that is it, yeah.
Cover going out.
Last player standing.
Just gotta play around the slow
last one
field
was running.
and we're fine.
Placing sentry.
Claw through them.
Sewers.
Nothing, eh?
lots outside B.
Oh, there's one lurking there. That is really annoying. See, these are the small things that I was like lost the sense for after being away for like 5 months or so from the game.
Put wall at B.
From playing, that is. That is rough. And also because I didn't peek straight away, that's why I couldn't catch him crossing that gap. Otherwise, I get to see that.
Going ropes.
I wanted to do a delayed peek, though.
Going E.
Because when people are if you have like, let's say a couple players that want to push, they have the position to see that angle first. So usually like people will like check it for a second before moving forward. So if you do a delayed peek, you can actually catch players off guard after they've kind of done that small timing where they clear that spot. So that was why I did a delayed peek on that. But obviously then I didn't think to check that someone could have crossed during that moment. So that was really the obvious issue. So it seems like Raze is defaulting that spot. What do they have?
Earn a knife. Flash water for you if you want.
Let's do it.
Viper B, man.
Give me those back.
Two right side mids.
2 B main coming out. Coming out B right now. One on site.
You are powerless.
One on site already. Both out B main. They're all on site.
I wonder what the KO buffs will be.
Spike planted.
Welcome to my world.
Last player standing.
Don't die. If you need help figuring out how, just ask.
I hope you take A main, B main control.
They're just like holding it at the start or he mollies this.
Okay.
Just gonna wall across to see if they spam it.
Hawk out.
2 B main.
Blinded.
No! KOs in mids.
Right now B main, Sage level 140. Right now on B, Sage B main.
I think it could be up B heaven as well, right? Yep.
Spike planted.
Enemy down.
Missing all my shots right now.
Hawk out. Recalling my bot.
I think taking the peak is good. The previous way I died to was just mechanics as well, really.
Last player standing.
Tell you what, a day working the farm would do these fellas good.
We're just gonna sit up here.
Nothing B.
Spike planted.
Two push spawn.
Last player standing.
Blocking sight.
No. That's so sad. How was that not a kill?
Wind, show me where to go.
It's not a good look. It's
Just
not
all
a
made
good
out
look.
to be.
We can push them back.
Turret out.
The hunt begins.
One markup. KO.
On B. Could be up ramp. Get like 3.
Fire in the hole!
3 here.
Oh my god.
One sewers right now. I'm a res.
Your duty is not over.
Spike planted.
One elbow and one A main. 2 site, one A main.
Enemy spotted A.
One ramp.
Headshot.
Back right one.
No. Both back right, both lit.
Back right.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, good job.
Last player standing.
Oh, no, you don't deserve my inventions.
Look for my shadows, they will hide you.
Turret out.
Two mid.
Healing.
Thank you. Couple mids.
Blocking sight.
That for you?
Obviously.
Viper stuff A. Coming. In.
Pushing.
You will not kill my allies.
I gotta go up.
Spike planted.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Last player standing.
Close.
Oh.
One more on site. I think both on site.
Feel like we're losing, and it's my fault. It's my fault.
Also delete my
I'm 1-7, so.
It's okay. I'm the Jet, I'm the most OP character in the game. Can't even really afford this. Oh, if I get a kill, then I have knives next round, so it's like a full buy.
Hi, Calvin.
That's A. Yeah.
Might as well gamble stack it, honestly.
One ramp raise.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike down A.
They all hit.
Blinded. No charges left.
2 main.
Raise 80. Reyna 120. No heal.
Top ramp, top ramp. 2 top ramp. They're gonna go ropes to B.
player
Oh,
standing.
nice.
Put 104 going
Okay.
ropes.
He aims from
This
the
is YouTube, Twitch.
He aims from the butt.
Oh,
Spike planted.
nice. That was cute. Sorry? What's that? Oh yeah.
I feel something over
Sam?
there. Can't place it.
Yeah, I will.
Like us, but